Welcome back to the show. I was just saying to my next guest off cameras, I wish I had gone to Toastmasters going back 19 years ago when my career began, because when you get into television, of course, people start asking you, because you're in the public eye, to, you know, MC events and charities and that sort of thing. And it was a nervous start for me. I'm comfortable now, but I wish I had done Toastmasters. Well, Amy Campbell is the immediate past district director of Toastmasters International District number 61. Welcome, Amy. Great to have you here. How did you get involved? Tell me about this. You were just telling me off air about this story. It was, it's an interesting way you got involved with Toastmasters.
Admittedly, how I got involved was I was at work whining to a coworker about an assignment I had to do for a Teachers of Trainers adult certificate, and it was on evaluation. So she said, Amy, I'm doing an education on evaluations tonight in Toastmasters. So why don't you come join? And from there, we went and visited a few clubs after that evening, and I just found my place.
Nice. So how would you describe Toastmasters? What is it that they do?
Toastmasters is an organization for communication and leadership. So that is the core of it. However, the reality is it is all about confidence building, all about giving you the self-esteem and the courage to just stand up and be you while you understand how you're received.
We're having a technical issue, so you'll have to grab the mic just like Carl.
No problem.
Yeah, no, please continue. Sorry, Amy.
But it's an organization that's all built around helping you with your confidence and your self-esteem when presenting, when taking on leadership roles, and just having the courage to be who you are, but while understanding how you're received by others.
So take me back to, you know, you first start compared to where you are today as far as comfort zone. Is it night and day?
I will never be the person I was 4 years ago, and I'm still a person in development. So
really,
there was a moment where I had a boss take me into a room after a meeting, and he went up one side of me and down the other. And he looked at me and he said, Amy, if you ever stay silent in a meeting where you know the subject, we're going to have bigger words than we're having right now.
Really?
And that was what flipped the switch on how to use Toastmasters to find my voice, to find what I know and have the courage to say it in my words and be confident that I know what I know.
You have an education program through Toastmasters. It's called Pathways, right?
We do.
Walk me through that. What does that look like?
So Pathways is there's 11 paths, and they're designed for about 300 competencies that are required, needed, desired, just interest level to improve your communication and leadership skills. And so they take you anywhere from delivering an icebreaker, being comfortable doing a presentation in front of people, right, building the fundamentals of how to do a presentation, body language, vocal variety, making sure that the audience receives the message that you intended to give. And it just builds on those skills. So it goes from everything from presentation to leadership opportunities, building a team, social media foundation. You name the skill, it is all within the Pathways program.
I imagine the benefits are so great, because I think when people think Toastmasters, they may think, you know, as I just described off the top of the show, you know, I'm a media personality, I'm going to be asked to do events. I was telling you I do keynote speeches as a patient advocate for those living with incontinence as well. But that's not the case, right? It's not for the keynote speaker necessarily that's going to, you know, turn it into a career. The benefits are for anything in life, right?
It's unbelievable what you learn in Toastmasters and how it affects your daily life. So I always use the example of even in your personal, not just professional and receiving promotions and being a better employee, but even in your personal. When your partner is making you dinner and they've gone to the great extent and they've burned the meal,
right,
you're not going to say to them, well, you burnt the dinner, because they're not going to be motivated to come back. So we learn about feedback skills. You know, I really enjoyed the green beans. I thought they were fantastic. Whatever seasoning you put on there, wonderfully scrumptious. But maybe we could get a timer so that we know when to flip the other part of the meal. And amazing how that feedback is just so much better received in the home
for sure.
than you burnt dinner.
You sent us a QR code that we're going to bring up on screen for our viewers at home, and for those of you that are over 50 like myself, you can actually just bring your camera to it and it'll take you somewhere. But what is this QR code for?
So the QR code will link to finding a club within District 61, and District 61 is Ottawa, Quebec, and a little bit of northern New York. And there's clubs of all kinds of variety, professional, community, there's social interest clubs. So if you have a particular interest, if you look in the Find a Club, you will find something that suits you.
I noticed as well with the information that you sent to us, and thank you for that, is there's corporate training available as well. I don't think a lot of people realize that that's part of Toastmasters. Tell me about that.
So a corporate club basically takes the Toastmasters program inside the corporation and really works with what the employees need within that environment
Okay.
to develop those skills. So what most people don't realize, it's actually one of the most cost-effective ways to train your employees. And it's all built in that safe environment of being with people you know, with the opportunity to practice the skills in a judgment-free zone. Yes, you get evaluations, but not judgment.
Right. My understanding too, Rogers has a club, right?
Rogers does have a club.
That's out of Toronto, I think, or
It is.
would they get together like on Zoom sort of thing, or is that physically in Toronto?
They have a hybrid club. So
Okay,
being here in
okay.
Ottawa, you could certainly, as a Rogers employee, join that club and you would join online.
Okay,
Whereas those that are in Toronto would be joining at the local.
They would be then. You've really painted a great picture of being part of Toastmasters. Amy, sort of last sort of call to action to people out there. Just your final words from you.
My final words would be, nobody has ever said they joined Toastmasters too late. So I recommend test it out, go visit a few clubs because there's an opportunity for you.
Yeah.
And you will improve in ways that you couldn't even imagine.
Well said. We'll be right back after this.